I truly believe that we are living in times where we have the opportunity to shape how our future will look like. We are not victims, so to say, like of the decisions that someone made in the past, but we are really in a time where we as humans can influence like how our future will look like, much more than probably all of us would have had the chance to if we were living like 100 or 200. Like US and China, particularly in the past years, played the technology and AI card as some part of their geopolitical strategy.
Europe has 18% of global researchers and produces about 15,000 global research papers, which is essentially on par with the United States and China. Europe has roughly the same amount of contributions to GitHub that the United States and China provides. Where things start to fray is in the commercialization of that basic research. And I think that is something that policy is trying to address, and it's definitely something that translates into a self-perception that exists.
But the first question to ask is, do you have your data strategy in place? Don't move to cloud if you don't understand what is your data strategy. Don't move to AI if you don't understand what data you are using for and why and how. So start with that and then move bit by bit. The opportunity is huge, but do it. And this is a question of leadership, not of technology.
Really, what this comes down to is the ability to take ethical considerations, marry them with technology, and innovate in an atmosphere where you're optimizing both against the objectives that you're trying to build upon, but also the fact that you care about the world that you're trying to impact through your technology. And there's a way to innovate ethically and responsibly.
It might be the case that the current political moment and what's happening in Ukraine leads to a unified approach. It might be that there's something that in this particular moment of crisis actually pushes to a united response. And that would be an interesting outcome to watch, where you're talking about 10 years ahead. This might be like a state building moment for Europe, really. Like for those of you who are in academia, like one of the big state building theories is about how war builds the state. And maybe that's something that is very intertwined with the geopolitical conversation, but also the development of tech and technology.
We tend to see everything through the lens of national security. Brussels sees everything through the lens of regulation, not to be too reductionist, but that's kind of the case.
I mean, I am back to my love for leadership because you can operate in whatever governance regime. And you can take European regulations and still be successful. This is not the thing of regulation. It's not the thing of technology. It's the thing of focus. And I love companies which are answering something which is very concrete.
But what we can do with artificial intelligence is think about the real embedded operational applications of the technology and how it can help us solve problems that are well defined. And so one of the things that implies is that you take AI from the sort of toy problem settings in research laboratories and think about what it actually means to build competent, operational, reliable technology.
Bringing the technology to the ground and both demystifying it, so speaking about how it works, where it is deployed, and the actual settings in which it's deployed, and stop thinking about it as this sort of hyper intelligence dystopian